Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a fun card that I made. It was challenging but fun. I haven't put a sentiment on it yet, but it's still working on my new cameras. So anyway, it's a dimensional floral card. These are raised up on foam pads. There you go. You can kind of see that. And just cut in a heart shape. And it's actually really easy to do. It takes a little bit of time, but it's really easy to do. So let me show you how it's done. I'll switch cameras and we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the background, and this is just a it's an embossing folder. So this is a Crafter's Companion Sarah Signature Collection from something. Not sure which signature collection that would be. I don't. There for a long time, I didn't keep all my signature collections together. I pulled all the embossing, I sorted things by type. Now I keep my collections together. I wish I had, because then I could tell you exactly which collection this came from, but I can't because I don't know. But let me go ahead and run that through. Embosses gorgeously. And you don't have to put any, you could just leave it white. I kind of liked the looks of just a touch of color, and so because it was a floral, I chose green, and this is just the water reactive grasshopper, and just very softly touch. Now, you could make it darker if you want. You could use gilding wax if you wanted, whatever you want to do. I just liked a touch of color on it just because I thought it needed something. When I did it I planned on doing it without any color, with just white, but when I got started to kind of lay it on there, I didn't think I don't know, I just felt like it needed something, so I added just the hint of green, and I liked that. So, but literally that's all I'm going to do. No more, just a little bit. Know when to stop. Okay, so there's my background. Now, I used this is the second to largest, not the largest, but the second to largest heart-shaped die from the triple easel nesting dies. And the way that I did this is I just kind of, so these are, I'm going to use a different Stampin' Die. This was a Stampin' Die set that I had, and then I found these. They're a little bit bigger. I thought I'd try them. You want a flower that's relatively small with some foliage, because I liked the mixture. If you just had the flowers and you didn't have any greenery, I think it would look a little weird. I don't know. I like the two colors. You could try it if you want a single color. It works, but I thought I'd try the rose this time. So this is a rose, and I've got some foliage, and all that I did is just kind of took my die and I arranged my flowers and my foliage just on my glass mat on top. I'm sure there could be an easier way to do this, but this is how I did it. And you don't want them all in exactly the same orientation, so kind of move them around, twist them around. And these roses I colored with the dark red tri-blend, and I didn't do any shading. I put a little bit of dark here and there, but I didn't really do shading. I didn't really do, so if you're not, don't feel like you're a great colorist, don't worry about it. You don't have to be. Now these are a little bit bigger, so hopefully this will work. And then just kind of poke your foliage in. These did not have a die with them. I cut them on my Scan and Cut with no border, and that's why they're cut basically, there's no white around them. If you have a die with it, you can cut them with you'll get a white border, which is fine, but and I might cut some of these leaves. Into 2 because I don't want, and you want a little bit of white space in between. That's I think I'm going to cut these apart a little bit. You don't want to completely fill the space, but you want it to feel like it's relatively full. So I might be able to get a 2 leaf in there. Yeah. Just like that. Okay, when you have the design laid out the way that you think you want it, then I took, this is masket tape, which I believe you can get on the Crafter's Companion website. Again, I'm sure there's different ways of doing this, but this is how I did it. And just lay the sticky side of the masket tape down, press it in, then when you pick it up, you've got them all in the right place. Now we're going to die cut. We're going to die cut that. So what I did is I took just a piece of, well, I'm going to arrange my die on there. I got to put that on first so I can see what I'm doing. And you're just going to, it doesn't have to be in exactly the same position, but just kind of arrange it the way you want it. I think that's about right. I'm going to go ahead and tape that down because I don't want it to move. And just tape to the outside. And then I put a piece of copy paper over it just to keep it from the masket tape from sticking to my plate. Then we're going to cut that out. Then we just want to take out the die cut with the masket on there. Don't forget to get your die out of there before you throw it away or recycle it, because you don't want to recycle your die. And if you were doing another one, you could actually, like if you were doing multiple of them, because this is fairly non-stick, you could peel this off and, like, for instance, well, not with this one, but you could take those leaves and use them in a second one if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that. I am going to save my copy paper though. It's always good to have extra copy paper. Now let's get my card blank ready. And I got some extra flowers to use. So I got a red matte layer that I'm going to put on my card blank. This is a 5 by 6.5 card blank. Now, as I've told you before, I'm going to set my Gemini plate on there to hold that down while I get this next piece ready. Now, I need to put some foam adhesive on there, and it's easiest to do while it's still on the masket, so just leave it on there, put your foam pads on, or foam tape or whatever. I mean, the little, this is where your small foam pads are your friend. But you want to get enough on there that it's not going to be sinking or wobbly or anything. And you could do this with florals. You could do it with hearts or stars or anything, and you could use any shape to cut once you get the whatever design you're going to use, you could cut it into any shape. You don't have to use a heart. I just liked the heart. There. Okay. Once you get that all on there, get the backs off. Okay, once you get them all peeled off of there, I'm going to get my tacky glue, put some tacky glue on each of the foam pads. You don't have to do this. I like to do it because it gives me a little bit of wiggle time, and I think it helps the foam pads hold longer and better so they don't dry up and come off. Oops, I haven't taken that one off. Then let's get that off of there. You just flip it over, decide where you want it straight. When you get it where you want it, press it down, and then just carefully peel the masket tape back while holding on to your design, holding the pieces down. And if you just peel it back slowly and gently, kind of straight back, it's like peeling low-tack tape off. Oops, missed that one. The hardest ones to get off are the little tiny pieces. They tend to want to lift, but so just kind of keep your finger on those, but the bigger pieces aren't really a problem. And that's it. You're done. You can add a sentiment, but super easy to do. So I'll decide. I think I like that one better. I think I like that flower better than the roses. And I probably should have positioned that rose better so I didn't cut this, excuse me, cut the center out of it. But all in all, pretty happy with it. And then you just want to let that dry a bit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. And try making it. It's actually super easy, and they look, I don't know, on the camera they don't look, I don't think they look as good, but in person they look really cool. I'm really pleased with them. So anyway, thanks for joining me.